Yeah, like I like to get them green because I like mine to be slightly green, more probiotic and all that. But it just did not refuse to turn. And then I opened up one, like, okay, this has got to be ready, right?
Right.
Then it was just a hard thing. I was like, this is inedible.
Yeah, you don't want a hard banana.
No.
No, it's
I kind of finally.
it's not pleasant when you bite into that. So
If it's crunchy, something's gone wrong.
Hi there, and welcome to the JRPG Pursuit, a podcast where we talk about all things JRPGs and other gaming topical stuff. I'm Emily.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Abdallah.
And today we are kicking it back. We are releasing this episode on Christmas Eve. However, we are not talking about Christmas here.
No, actually, instead we're talking about Emily's birthday. Happy birthday, Emily.
Birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Man, another year has gone by.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is wild. And yeah, I guess having a birthday at the very end of the year like this, it puts everything into focus. Like not only is the year coming to a close, but wrapping up yet another chapter of life.
I thought you were going to say, but you get older too.
I was waiting to see what he was going to say.
So spam cake emojis in the comments to wish Emily a happy birthday.
Do it.
Thank you.
And but no, that's not actually what we're going to talk about.
That's not actually today's topic.
No.
It would be a fun topic, but that's not actually what we're talking about.
It's not actually
a full hour of us saying happy birthday, guys.
As many languages as we can.
Oh.
Kanjobi omedeto. Birthday happy.
You guys have that
birthday
all up on me.
happy.
Well, today we wanted to talk about not happy things, I suppose, some kind of sad things the industry is experiencing. And that is, I think, the increasing cost in gaming. We've talked previously on the podcast about the cost of software and games themselves, with like the AAA price tag we've been seeing at launch. But now we're seeing this all trickle down to hardware and other ways to access our games. And also rising development costs. And we've just been seeing, so much turnover in the industry. I think it's all been affecting. And we just are wondering now at the end of 2025 here, what's happening to gaming?
It's not looking
Is it all
good,
being priced out?
Emily. I feel like a news anchor where I'm just like, it's not looking good, Emily.
No.
The outlook of 2026 is definitely not bad, or definitely is bad. But honestly, like looking at it, like from that perspective, like the fact that like hardware is getting ridiculous, especially if you look at RAM with the AI bubble that just won't burst. It needs to burst now. But like RAM being upwards of $900 for 16 to 32 gigs. And they've already been talking about, go ahead.
I was going to say with RAM, especially like they're no longer making that more consumer accessible. Like I think laptops in 2026, they're all going to have 8 gigabytes of RAM.
Well, yeah,
exactly.
Crucial, one of the top 3, right, the manufacturers of RAM is just completely abandoning the consumer space, which means not only is the demand, crazy for RAM because of all the AI use, but 1/3 of the supply is no longer going to be available,
being reduced
at all. So.
And not just Crucial, as NVIDIA is also ducking out a little bit. They're like they said they're going to stop their consumer level graphics card like production down by like 40% or something like that.
Yeah.
And there wasn't high to begin with,
Right.
Exactly. So like there was already it was already impossible to find these graphics cards, and now it's just going to be it's just going to be literally impossible to get one of these things unless you're spending way too much money, which is going to trickle down into all these areas, like in terms of like cost of development. Like these teams are going to have to buy the latest and the greatest to make these like system to make the games and things like that.
Yeah, see the Larian statement, how they're pushing up production because they need to do a bunch of like very extensive sort of work. And they're trying to, do all that up front before things get even more costly down the line. It's just wild what's happening.
Exactly. Like between that and like actual like home consoles, like you're going to be seeing like the next stages of the whatever the PS6 is going to look like, whatever, like as they even manufacture more Switch 2s in the future, like there's going to be a certain point where they're going to have to jump that price up extensively to keep up with like the cost that they're going to be buying this RAM or whatever they're going to be doing with these systems. And
Nintendo's not going to eat that. Like,
no,
I think they're already
no one's going to eat that
with the tariff situation. They were already
and in Japan,
do a little bit, but like that was a stretch for them. They are the money grubbiest of all the of all the companies, and that's including Microsoft.
Truly Scrooge.
It's very surprising. Yeah. I don't know. And I also worry about like, the Steam machine coming out in a month or two. They, had said it was going to be priced like a comparable PC? Which I don't know what that looks like in 2026 when these costs are so high. I'm assuming that Valve has already sourced their parts for these machines prior to this big increase in RAM costs. So hopefully their initial shipments will be reasonably priced. Like I'm sure it'll be $700 to $800 for the base model.
I'm wondering though, because like I think they're gonna look at forecasting of this. So like if they sell it at whatever like the basic cost was going to be, then they know that there's going to be a limit to how much they can sell at some point. And so I think they might probably try to even it. Or they're going to have to raise it.
Yeah, they may
so that way.
Yeah. So maybe it jumps to 1,000 for the base model instead of 700 or whatever.
Lucky.
There's I think a shrinking market who could afford that,
right?
And it
especially
sucks because
with
like
the economy outlook we're looking at,
and it's
for the everyday person.
Yeah, and it's terrible, especially if you look at the Steam Deck and for a lot of these kind of systems because they use AMD and AMD like their integrated graphics that for these kinds of consoles require lots of RAM to be efficient and to have the proper graphical like powerhouse that they need to be. It runs on fast RAM, so you need really good stuff for it to actually be comparable to anything else. And so that's huge. That's a huge problem for them.
Yeah.
It's just terrible. Makes me sad.
It's all looking very sad. But I know we were complaining, I think earlier this year, right, about how consoles are getting, they're not lowered in price over time. They're increasing in price. But I think in 2026, it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And that's going to probably spill over into the games, like the cost of games itself, too.
Yes.
Right.
So like are
we gonna look at another $100 Chrono Trigger situation?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Honestly, like if nothing else, Nintendo's jump from like 70 to 80 for certain games has like kind of opened Pandora's box, and I feel like at the very least, other publishers feel a certain level of empowerment to be able to do that now, right? Like
I know people were jokingly talking about, Grand Theft Auto 6 costing $100 at, release. I don't think that's out of the ballpark.
Not at all. Yeah, I think
I wouldn't be shocked.
Like last year, people, when they bring that up, like, that much? Really?
Right.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked at this point.
Not unfathomable anymore.
I also like if for a game that's as assuming that it's going to be as big and as rich as it probably will be, I don't even think necessarily that's a bad value. Like $100 for that much entertainment. For some people, that's like the only game they play is Grand Theft Auto 5.
And then if you look at the multiplayer aspect, right? I don't know how costly opening those centers are anymore. I imagine those have rising costs too.
Yeah, I mean, just with the AI push, right? Like all of the data centers are getting gobbled up by, companies with their AI stuff. So,
I mean, I was reading an article yesterday that Illinois is going to have no power for the people by 2029 because of the amount of data centers that are being built in Illinois. And it's like just consuming all of the power. So there's not enough actual like either nuclear plants or ways to generate energy to keep up with both like people and these data centers. So like, it's not good.
Not good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we could come in here for you all at the end of the year and just
right before Christmas.
Doomsday.
Sorry, we lay all these depressing down things.
It's okay. Our New Year's Eve episode will probably be more positive.
It'll be more.
It will be. It will
just
be.
Wait. It'll be good.
This is our existential crisis.
Well,
before...
this is us like reflecting. It's the yin and the yang, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
The yin of like, okay, this is 2026 is looking rough, guys. Not gonna lie to you. Next week will be like the yang. It'll be the fun things that we enjoyed this year.
Whenever someone asks you guys, do you want the bad news first or the good news?
You always want the bad news first. Get that out of the way. Get that out of the way.
Yes.
Clear your headspace for that good news.
I want to feel depressed first, but then feel better slightly afterwards.
To me,
because I can get rid of that.
The move that makes the most sense, without giving this a ton of thought, right? Just the thing that comes immediately to mind is developers starting to create games that don't constantly push the limits of technology. If they can take a page from indies, right? And honestly, like that's something that they should have started doing anyway. But take a page from the indie scene and start making games where gameplay, story, all the things that really matter are the best they can be. And don't worry so much about pushing the technological envelope because it's this case of diminishing returns anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like the better graphics get, the smaller the leap between generations even feels. So if the PS6 gets delayed by 3 years and we have more games at the level or even lower of graphical presentation that we've been used to, I don't think that that's bad for gaming. I think that's how gaming survives.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I think talking about the next generation of hardware is another conversation we could get into, because I think it's going to be inevitable we'll see delays for new hardware because I think for one we don't really need it,
right?
No,
and like the Switch was like the biggest market share of it needed some sort of upgrade to keep up with what everyone else has been doing for years. Now that we have that level, we could kind of, I think, ride this for a little bit until things start seeing a little bit more improvement. Because right now, we're moving a little bit too fast technology-wise, or probably, we're not being quite efficient, I would say.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the arms race, and the end goal of this particular arms race is not really clear to me. Like, to have the most powerful machine or the most powerful technology, if nobody can afford to buy it, then it's like, okay, good job, I guess. Like, what what's the point if nobody's gonna consume the thing? Yeah,
I don't think it's getting to the point where AI is not. It's not like they're not rushing for consumerism. They're rushing for I don't know, more of foundational governance at this point.
They're trying to make a monopoly, I think,
exactly
beat out the competition.
Exactly. So they're kind of all just all the corporations are helping each other just kind of build this umbrella of AI. We're rather thinking about the consumers at the end of the day. I think it's less about that, unfortunately. I don't know,
and I think they're just trying to
solve the
replace
wrong
people.
problems.
If we saw, for Microsoft, was that they fired, laid off, was it 27,000 people just to sink more funds into AI?
Yep. It is because they're solving the wrong problems with AI, because AI isn't inherently bad. I think there's a lot of bad connotations because of how it's being used in spaces that it shouldn't be used in, like creative stuff and things like that. But I think Kojima said it best. There was a interview they did with him, or he was asked a question about AI, and he was just AI is useful. He's like, I'm less worried about using AI in the creative areas of things, art and things like that. But he's like, I kind of AI is great for things like NPCs and enemies, and making them all have distinct personalities. So that way you're dealing with different, like when you're fighting these, like, or going through, like, let's say a Metal Gear Solid style game, and you're dealing with all these enemies, they all kind of like play differently. And so you have to adapt to that. And that's like a cool concept. And we've been already doing that for years, since like the 90s. There's always been kind of AI NPCs and enemies. And so like now it's just a stronger, more, specific type of AI. But yeah.
I think this is a good time to talk about the whole AI of it all. Because there's a lot of misunderstanding about how a lot of companies are using it. Now, that's not to discredit the fact that some companies had this pipe dream where they're going to replace all the creatives with AI, and it's going to make the art, and it's going to make the music, and it's going to do the dialogue, and it's going to be everything that they need. And then it can code itself. And then you've got a game and it sells 1 billion copies. That's the dream, right? For these executives. That's not good, obviously. Like, that's bad.
They're not realistic.
It's also not realistic. You'd have to boil the entire ocean to make that happen.
Just put out slop.
But when I see like people going after like a studio like Larian or Sandfall for using AI in their, brainstorming, their planning sessions, they're like, people coming after them. These people, their only credentials are they have an internet connection, right? They're not experts. They don't understand how it's used, how the technology is used by these teams.
They have their opinion and their voice in it.
Yeah. And the issue that I see is, like, I think one great use of generative AI is in brainstorming, right? Like, even if I'm an artist, if I say, okay, I have this thought, I would like to combine these 3 different art styles into something sort of unique. And I can ask the generative AI to kind of put something like this together, and I can look at it and be like, okay, that's not exactly what I want, but that gives me the idea that brings the creation out of me that I wanted to. It is brilliant at that. Like, it is such a useful tool on
prompting ideas. Yeah, sparking new ideas, innovation, because most new ideas are grown for something, and it's just making it faster. It's shortening that window of trying to get inspired by something, which sometimes it's for the best, sometimes it's for not. You have to be discerning. That's why humans still matter.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why, like, a real artist, a real creative is not going to take whatever output that AI gives them and just put that in there.
Go with it.
They're not, you know what I mean? Like,
there's no copy paste here.
When they hear generative AI was used by Sandfall or Larian, that's what they're thinking. They're thinking, they generated a bunch of enemies and then they just put them in the game. I can almost promise you that's not, at least what Sandfall did. I have a lot of respect for Sandfall and their creative process. Like, that's not what they did. That's not how it works.
I'm not sure if this is true. This is, again, just people talking on the internet, making, inferences. Doesn't mean they're true. Like, they maybe would generate AI, like some like textures, just to have as a filler there, like while they work on other parts of the project, so they don't have to waste a lot of energy to make something, and it's. I think that's fine, especially if they remove it with actual interesting components, which they did.
I think it wasn't even them generating those AI things. I think because they bought UE5 packs.
That's already there.
And,
right?
and it's already filled with like that was Unreal Engine had AI assets. Like generated assets, and so like they were just using those as placeholders.
Placeholders is the word.
Exactly, and so like they weren't really, their goal was to actually replace them and put like their actual art and whatever it is they're going to be doing with that. So, and that's the same thing what Brandon was saying, like using it in this context, like Gen AI is not inherently evil. There's so many use cases for Gen AI that can be useful in terms of, as long as the finished product is something that is original and yours and you've created it, there's so many ways to use it to help get yourself to that point or brainstorm or do things like that. But it's when when you see people just like generating videos, like AI videos or just AI art, and then they're saying that like, well, I don't have the ability as an artist, so I need to this is my way of making art. And I'm just like, no, it's not.
No, it's
just a prompt. JRPG YouTubers, we've been seeing the rise of these AI JRPG accounts that are just like blatantly lifting things from other creators.
Exactly.
putting out wrong information or fake screenshots to lure people in. I'm like, oh my gosh.
See, like it's these kind of things that just ruin it.
That stuff's like just pathetic. You know what I know that sounds really mean.
It still gets views.
I mean it to be mean.
And there's some people that admit, I didn't know this is AI.
And it's like, especially the older generation. I like so many times over the holidays when I was at my mom's for Thanksgiving. Sorry, Mom, if you're listening to this, I'm going to put you on blast. But she would show me videos on Instagram or whatever, TikTok. She's like, "Oh, isn't that cool?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's AI though." She's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah,
it's fake. Yeah. It's fake."
My mom does the same thing, so it's okay. Like she'll send me videos, and I'm like, "Mom, this like I don't want to see AI videos. Like, stop sending me this." Like,
I'm so glad my parents don't do this.
I'm just like, please stop this.
Well, and the problem is like my mom is really big on TikTok. Like she posts on TikTok a lot. She watches TikTok all day. Like that's one of her favorite things right now. And so much of TikTok and so much of the short form video content is AI now. It's like it is. It's hard to
those cute animal videos.
Almost
more likely.
If an animal is doing something that you're like, whoa, that's crazy, it probably isn't real. There's a general rule.
I stumbled upon this TikTok of like they generated these like drama episodes, and they're horrific. It was like Cinderella, but with like underwear. Like, and they were posting this on, basically, it was really weird. And I remember just coming across it, and I was like looking at it, I'm like, what is this? And then I'm like, okay, I can't. It's like a train wreck. I need to leave. Like,
hang on, before we move past this, I need you to explain in a little more detail. Cinderella, but underwear. Like what? What are you talking about?
I'm trying to picture this.
Explain this for me.
Is it like cartoon underwear, or they're wearing underwear? What is this? The slipper is underwear.
The slipper. So this is horrifying, guys. Okay, like I don't know how this came up.
Brandon, we opened a can of worms.
This is a can of like just call me a big Billy Mouth bass because I'm going to eat these worms. Let's get into it.
I don't know how this showed up, but all of a sudden, like it came up, and it was like the Cinderella-esque girl is running away, and as she's running, her underwear falls off.
Okay.
And
possible,
so like,
okay, I'm with you.
Yeah. And the prince takes it, and then he's like, I need to figure out
whose panties are these?
Who this fits. So he starts trying it on all these types of people.
Okay. All right.
And this is
why AI gets clicks, y'all. AI it's so ridiculous. I really hope at some point people get tired of it, you know?
I really hope so, because like that, I saw that and I was trying to figure out like, is there a way I can like hate this, and so that I will never get something like this on my
from your mind.
Like, yeah, I'm like, I like ended up like blocking that channel, and I was like, don't ever show me this crap again. Like, this is awful.
Can I share a controversial take?
Oh,
this is a controversial.
Sure. I was going to do also a controversial take.
Okay.
But you go first.
Okay. So my controversial AI take is that if eventually we want games that are as deep and as immersive as like science fiction suggests to us that one day those sorts of things will be, we will need artificial intelligent generated content in games, and like on the voice acting side. Right? Because if you want to have a game where you, as the player, can speak to an NPC and have that NPC respond to you in a realistic way, regardless of what you say to that NPC, that is absolutely going to just require artificial intelligence to do that, right? Now, having said that, and I know this is a hot button issue in the voice acting space, and I count voice acting among my friends. I don't want this to be taken the wrong way. For this to actually work and be a moral, ethical thing, there would need to be like compensation made to these voice actors in perpetuity, right? So like whether it's every line that is generated from an actor's voice gets them some small amount of money, and it would compile kind of like royalties would for people that worked on TV shows or movies, right? And they would receive quarterly checks for their work. Like something like that, I think would be a way for us to have that level of richness and depth while still fairly compensating the people whose voices those are, right? Because we don't just want computer generated voices. Those had to come from somewhere. They were trained.
I'm just wondering if we want that? Is it too much?
I mean, that's a question.
You know,
I don't know that
bring us away from the storytelling. You know, if we get so deep in the sauce,
kind of game, right? Like if you think like a massively multiplayer online game, you're going to have plenty of real live people that you could talk to. It could be used for the NPCs in that sort of game to create a world where you almost can't tell the difference between another real person and an AI NPC.
That's also concerning. You know, we're going to have like, you know, a Sword Art Online kind of
that's
situation.
kind of the you know,
that's the dream.
That's the dream.
Is
right? I mean, I'm not getting stuck in the game, but it's kind of the dream for that style of immersive, you know, role playing.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, you know, if we get so caught up on just, you know, the NPC dialogue, like, do people like? I guess they could just spend their time chatting with, if they're lonely, you know, with an NPC the entire time.
I mean, we already know people do that game. With
they do.
Like whatever it's called.
Bots, for sure.
It's very like Ready Player One-esque type like thought process where like you become addicted to a certain type of media or this immersion that takes away. Well, I mean, in the same concept of like escapism, Ready Player One, escapism from like a world that is slowly spiraling out of control. People are looking to the virtual space for you know, things like that. And with according to like Brandon's thought process, and I agree. I think like for a lot of open world games, like it would be ideal to have AI kind of run kind of a lot of like the background conversations that you would have with NPCs and things like that, because it's hard to like expect. It would be more immersive in those kind of like open world games, and it would be more interesting. But in terms of using like voice actors likeness in AI, they would have to make it very clear in the contracting that like it can only be used in the context of this game, and it can never be used outside of this. To
don't have my voice saying weird sexual things. There'll have to be so many stipulations.
I mean, that's true too, right?
And it can't be used to train any other model. Like this model has to be directly for this game. It's like a contract specific for this, and so like,
and then I think there's another question of like, how much work are these voice actors doing then? If you're not, you know, voicing and acting, like they're just borrowing your voice basically.
Yeah.
And so is that, what's the fair compensation for just the royalties of your voice?
That's true. It's a very gray, weird area that like, I don't think we're ready to solve that yet.
No, we're nowhere near close.
It won't be our, I don't think we'll be alive.
I don't think we'll be alive either.
No, hopefully not.
Like, even
I don't want to deal with that.
Even in that world that like if that world existed where there were games like that, I don't think every game should be like that. And I think that's kind of the kind of dystopian vision that people get when they think about stuff like that. It's like everything has changed and now it's all this kind of vanilla, everything's the same. I don't necessarily think that should be the case, right? There's always going to be the desire for rich narrative experiences that are driven by a creator, right? And not driven by you, the player. I prefer those that are driven by a creator and not by me, right? Like that's kind of my whole thing.
That's why we read books. That's why we watch movies.
Yeah, exactly. Like we not directing the ship. Stories and we like participating in them, but some of us prefer it to a lesser extent than others. So
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's my controversial take. I feel like, you know, we're not ready as a
it's a thing to ponder
though, to have that conversation yet. I don't think it's a little too right now with like the voice actors just recently got out of a big thing where they were fighting to protect themselves from companies using their voices in bad ways, right? Like just owning.
Yeah, that's the problem. Because like the current state of Gen AI is so exploitative that like these companies, there's no checks and balances that are like inherently like the FCC is not doing anything.
No,
to like legislation yet.
Yeah, there's nothing in place to protect like people who are in these jobs and things like that. Like they're just letting these companies run rampant with AI and doing whatever they want that is all against copyright.
But I think they're going to see mediocre quality, you know, if they go
they don't care.
A certain direction.
Yeah.
Like it will improve. I think most technology will improve, but there's still going to be some sort of soullessness that you really need people
100%.
with.
I think that it definitely could improve. The thing that worries me is that people like us look at like AI slop and we're like, that's garbage. Who would like this? I think the answer to the question of who would like this is millions and millions and millions of people, right? Like it's very disheartening, but like it's millions of people that like this.
And it's, you know, the frequency that AI slop is made and how much, you know, It's really a proportion issue, right?
Yeah.
Like most people, like if you strive for mediocrity, usually that's like the easiest thing to relate to, right? And so if you have a mediocre, like say YouTube video, it's most likely going to reach a lot of people, and they'll be just satisfied with whatever message it is.
That's why my views have been down, because I'm not mediocre enough. You're
not mediocre.
I'm going to tell myself that.
Exactly.
Work on it, Brandon. You need to be more mediocre.
Become more mediocre.
You need to get a little more mediocre.
That's why it's not working out. No. But I guess to go on to another topic, I feel like we've been maybe going a little bit too far at AI without
we spiraled.
Really
we spiraled,
knowing
guys.
where it's heading. Like it's of course a threat, I think, in a lot of industries and a lot of our media consumption that it's worrying, very concerning. And I know a lot of people bring up like the evils of AI because of the environmental impact, but
yes,
if you look at like most technology, right? There's always going to be people who push back. Oh, why do you need a home computer? That's going to waste so much electricity and, all this environmental impacts. Like just go, you don't need that. You don't need a calculator, right? Fancy computer to do that. You just could use this like Atticus, right? That doesn't cost anything.
That's my favorite tool.
If you look at, transportation of like importing goods and things, like people, they don't bat an eye with if you're getting, fresh goods delivered via like airplane, to your city, even though maybe nowhere in your radius would be growing these crops. Like you just go to the grocery store and buy it. But before, people are like, no, the horse and wagon was how you get your food.
I love it.
So like we're going to have pushback, I think, in all aspects of technology. But I do think there's concern about regulation. Is it going too far too quickly? So that's, of course, a concern. But just like with anything that changes, change is change, right? We're all very concerned about change and the rate of change. Is it going to happen inevitably?
Unchecked change.
Unchecked
is my problem.
Unchecked change.
Yeah. That's my problem there. Because as long as things are done in a very concise and in a way that things have been tested and regulated.
I think, a scientific method for a lot of things before things are just fully implemented. Unfortunately, especially in recent years, we've had pseudoscience, right? That hasn't really checked out before things are being implemented to the full extent. And there's been a lot of pushback on that, and I hope that scientific method is brought back.
That's the really disappointing thing about the trajectory of AI right now is in the beginning, in the earlier stages, it was very much a scientific process. Like they were just researchers. They were trying, they built this thing and they were trying to understand it, because no matter what anybody tells you, they still don't really understand it. They don't fully understand how this thing works. And so it was much more research based. And then the venture capital bros got their hands on it, and it suddenly became
this has potential to make me money.
Company, and everything is
so you have a bunch of people who have no experience in any of that stuff trying to build out these things. Cause I can't, I know that I've been in that position where these people are just let's pull all these people who have never touched AI and let's build these products that are going to do all these different things. And you're like, now it's just not scientific anymore. It's just any old Joe Schmo off the street that's building these things that are unchecked.
Facebook go fast, break things mantra, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're playing with a lot of data and a lot of sensitive data out there. And so that's the part that's not great.
Yeah. Well, do you guys think 2026 we're heading towards a video gaming crash if we, just look at video gaming in particular? Or is this going to be a slow, painful death?
I don't think we're going to crash.
Is it that bleak? Is it really that bleak?
I think there's going to be a pause. And I think kind of like what Brandon said, they're going to have to reevaluate and look back and be like, hey, let's make this AA. Let's change the structure of how we build these games.
Do we think this is going to affect JRPGs disproportionately than other genres? Because I think JRPGs have already been hit hard trying to go to AAA. If you look at, say, Square Enix and what they have done with the Final Fantasies and some of their other development games. And I think a lot of other studios have been more thriving in this space. A little bit more cost effective. But are they also not keeping up with technology? Are they going to get lost, behind or fall behind?
I think I'm sure they're afraid of falling behind.
Yes.
But I think paradoxically, falling behind is exactly what they need to do.
Yes.
So yeah, in my opinion, like I don't know if we're gonna have a crash next year. My preference is that, like we were saying, studios take a step back, work within the technology framework we have now that's already in people's homes, build games for that. Stop trying to push the envelope for a while. Like, let's ease off the accelerator, guys. I think if that doesn't happen, I almost kind of hope there is a crash, because the only way that change happens then, I think, is if something drastic happens.
Adversity.
Yeah, there has to be some brick wall that they run into that makes them say, oh, we can't keep going this way. We have to change course. I don't want that, but I want that if that's the alternative between that and a slow death. I would rather just, boom, let's hit the wall and reevaluate and rebuild, honestly.
Yeah. And that's where I see like JRPGs. I think JRPGs are not going to have as much of a struggle because a lot of these like publishers and developers already kind of sit within the AA space outside of like Square Enix and like the Final Fantasy and things like that. But like if you look at Falcom and you look at all these other like kind of like smaller scale type games, they're already there. They're kind of like in that space that they already live within that. Like what it might do, it might save the Final Fantasy series, and so they might not want to push it to AAA again. Maybe they'll have like one more AAA Final Fantasy, like because they're probably already in development of whatever it is.
Whatever
17. Yeah, exactly. So like the next iteration of whatever like 18 might be is going to be something probably scaled down because of cost, and so like that might help that series out. You never know.
Maybe, though. I don't know. People have been looking at, those reports for Square Enix thinking they're going to get bought up by Nintendo because they're just, falling off the cliff. So
I don't know. Would Nintendo buy them though? I don't think Nintendo rarely buys.
They're not the saviors.
They don't do a lot of big acquisitions.
No, they do like small ones. Because like they have such a specific culture, and to bring in a whole like company and like switch them out to like be Nintendo focused, like in how they do things, it just doesn't work. Kind of reminds you of what Falcom said. Like when they were doing the board meeting, there was like
the shareholder meeting.
The shareholder meeting, they had a question about like size of Falcom, and they were saying like, okay, like, are you guys going to expand size, or Kondo, what are you going to do when you need to retire? Or like, exactly, like who's going to take over after you, Kondo? And he's just like, yeah, like we can't. It's hard for them to think about bringing somebody from another development, like a tenured person, because they have such a specific way and specific culture at Falcom that like nobody can match that. And so like they like to bring in people and then train them slowly from the ground up. And so like even if they brought in like tenured people, they probably wouldn't give them the same kind of like leeway to lead and do all these things until they've kind of learned their process. And the
culture behind that, like I don't think a tenured person would want to go through that.
Right.
No, exactly. And so like that's what, that's an interesting dynamic at Falcom right now, I imagine.
Yeah.
Do you guys I know we've talked about how console gaming might die eventually, but I don't know, looking at the PC market, where are we getting our hardware to play these games? Are we just going to be an Xbox is everything and play on our phones?
Even phones are going to go bad.
Yeah, my money is more on Valve than on Microsoft on the PC side of things, just because of the ridiculous head start they have. And if the Steam machine and Steam Deck is able to, that's the thing, is they can't really scale it up because they don't have the parts to do that. People don't have the money to buy them if they did. And
downgrading it, you'll miss out on so many new games.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants that. Especially in that space where they are all about, having the best specs or whatever.
Yeah,
I know.
But just based on people's current existing hardware, I think, the PC space, if developers of PC games need to take the same advice, right? They need to build within the existing technology framework and not try to push the envelope so much, because I don't know if you noticed, but the cost of the envelope has gone way up. So stop pushing it.
Yep.
Stop pushing it, please.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Whew. I'm feeling rather
You feel better? You let it all out?
I don't know if I feel better or more anxious now.
No,
I
always feel more anxious, but
I think this also comes down to like we have, I think, more of or JRPGs are special in that there's so many great experiences in the past that a lot of people have in their backlog. So I think even if gaming industry gets a little priced out, gets more downscaled and rebuilds, we'll still have plenty of great experiences to play.
Yes. There's
so
always
I don't
options.
think there's so much a threat of gaming dying.
Yeah. It's hard to look at a category of art with such a ridiculously huge back catalog of titles and be like, what are we going to play? It's like, well, there's more games than you could play in 1,000 lifetimes. So you're okay.
Very good. Okay. Yeah. And then there'll still be indies. There'll still be AA,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You stay to, their parameters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just innovate on story. I think that's the best route to go, especially in the JRPG space.
Yeah. Story and even on gameplay, right? Like there's so much cool stuff coming out of the indie space in JRPGs alone. Even going back to like Undertale. Who thought that would work, right? An Earthbound style JRPG with bullet hell combat. Like what? That doesn't even make sense.
I know.
If you said that to somebody back then, they'd be like, that's nonsense. But it became one of the most popular indie JRPGs in history. Maybe the most popular, really. And there's having smaller teams, having people that are focused on passion projects and not just on, checking various boxes to make shareholders happy. That's where you're going to see actual innovation in terms of even gameplay, right? Like it doesn't take a AAA budget to make a cool gameplay mechanic. You just have to have an idea and execute on it.
And I think we're seeing, more innovation come from all around the world. It's more global than ever before when it comes to game development.
Exactly.
And, I think we'll see a lot more interesting, projects. I feel like, innovation, especially in art, usually blooms or prospers when there's limitations. Yep. And so I do think that maybe this is a good thing that we're seeing this kind of pushback in the industry, even though it hurts our wallets and the prospect of our wallets. We get time to reflect on why we love, the sector of media so much and prioritize what we love about it, and curate our time really on the things that matter.
Totally agree.
With you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do we have any more?
Any more on this topic? Yeah, I'm thinking,
touch on
I guess in 2026, I think there's a lot of new games still coming out, right? Like I feel like the first quarter, we've talked about this before. It's pretty stacked.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot coming out.
Yeah. And I didn't play all the new games that came out this year alone, but I still want to play.
Still working on it.
There's still a lot. And I mean, we haven't even heard everything about next year yet. So like, there's a lot of things probably Nintendo is holding up because they take their time to like actually announce things.
Well, we know some things. We just don't know.
We know some things
yet. Like Fire Emblem.
But we also don't know probably a bunch of games because sometimes they hold back.
Where are you?
What are they doing?
Exactly. Like that's Nintendo's MO is like they'll just kind of like announce and be like it's going to come out in 3 months. Like they're very quick to do that. And then also like Square Enix. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I don't know. So
they got plenty of things cooking.
Yeah,
plenty of things that were probably canceled, but also plenty of things cooking.
Yeah, Square Enix
they canceled Heart of Stella too. That's all I cared about. So
no, I mean they're really they're gonna make that. I believe it. I'm gonna put it out there. It's on my vision board right behind my monitor right now. I'm staring right at it.
In the year of 2025, I think it's not dead.
It's not. Yeah, hopefully it's not dead. I
mean, granted, they've been making merch for Xenogears, but
yeah, that's true. I mean, they know people like us are gonna buy it. So
exactly.
Why not keep making it?
Yep.
Yeah, despite all of this, I still think I'm reasonably optimistic about the future of like JRPGs and video games in general. Just because, when the video game crash in the 80s happened, it wasn't as if everyday people could, purchase software and develop a video game themselves, or like just average people that aren't part of some big studio like Atari or whatever.
True.
We are in a very, very, very different landscape than the last time there was a huge crash. There are people that can make games all by themselves, and they are rich, full, enjoyable experiences. Small teams can make games that are even bigger, and like it's not the death knell that it was back then, right?
For sure.
Nintendo hadn't come along back in the 80s and like Trojan horse their way into the American market. We wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation. We might not even know each other. Right. So it's like, that was a very like, what's the term? Something that isn't likely, whatever. It wasn't guaranteed to happen, but it did.
Yeah.
This is a very different situation. There are so many teams making games, and they are so good.
Yeah.
And if the focus shifts from these big companies making games that we can't afford to buy the hardware to play on, there are still plenty of games that will be coming out for us to enjoy. So I'm not pessimistic about the state of the medium, the art form. I am pessimistic about
the quality,
the state of the AAA gaming space for sure.
Yeah, and I'm okay with like
don't look at it anymore. AAA, like there's a couple I play, but it's not a total loss if they kind of have a lull for a bit.
And honestly, like I'm okay with like these like current system generation just taking longer. Like let's sit with them, because like it took so long for
PS6 right now.
I know, because like we just started
PS5.
I mean, we're still getting games that get ported over between the PS4 and PS5 sometimes. Like it's not fully like all PS5 yet. So like I'm
there are
okay
some
with
games that only release on PS4. Look at Lunar from this year.
Yep.
That was
exactly.
PS4 only, no PS5 version.
Yep. They were like
exactly. So like
compatibility handle that,
Yeah. So I'm okay with like them just taking their time, letting it like just stew, and having us like enjoy the system that we already have, and not have to pay another like $700-800 for a new system again.
Yeah. And like you said, Emily, it's like the Switch 2 kind of closes that gap that was forming between the Switch and like other current gen consoles. It's like, I would say the Switch 2 is like roughly PS4 Pro equivalent in terms of which is fine, which is enough. Right? Like the PS5 over the PS4 is like negligible for the average person, right? Digital Foundry might be able to point out the subtle differences, but like most people are like, it looks great. I don't know,
Yeah. And you guys may have heard the leaked news that the Switch 2 is getting more cart sizes.
Yes.
Whenever that actually translates into, the whole entire industry, and if companies actually choose those, we'll see.
Yeah.
But it's optimistic for sure for physical media collectors.
Definitely a better situation. The thing I worry about is that they kind of already let the genie out of the bottle with the key card situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've already created the narrative around, like Square Enix in particular, created the narrative around, well, it's actually better because there's faster read speeds. If you use a key card, you just download the thing to your console. So they've already kind of created the environment where it's like, I think that these smaller card sizes are good, especially for like smaller indie games, to actually be able to do a physical release and not have to pay the exorbitant cost of a 64 gig card, right? So that's good. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying that I don't think it fixes all the problems, because too many publishers have already seen the glory of the coming of the key card. So
and it's the key card's at the end of the day going to be the cheapest option if you want it. Physical presence.
Yeah. And most companies will generally take the cheapest route in terms of what they're going to release, because of higher profit margins at that point. As well as like most major games are going to be more than 32 gigs. Like if you're talking about like higher scale games from the bigger publishers. And so they're already they can't fully put the game on the card. So even if they take the 32 gig card, there's probably going to be a portion of that has to be downloaded anyways.
Right.
So it's never like, I don't think it's going to be fully on cart even in those perspective.
Yeah.
So,
if they're not going to do a perfect physical, then just do a game card. Like who cares at that point? It's just a digital game. Who cares?
Download only.
I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and reading a lot about like the old console wars. I find it fascinating, like the Nintendo Sega era. And like one of the issues that led to Nintendo giving back a huge chunk of their market share in the US back in the 90s or the 80s and 90s, was the fact that Nintendo had to control the production of the carts, and you had to pay them exorbitant amounts of money to have them manufacture your carts. And you had to put in certain orders. So people, like some publishers, would lose money on releasing a game because they had to pay Nintendo so much to get the carts manufactured. And Sega came along and was like, hey guys, how about you pay less and have a little more freedom to do what you want? And publishers were like, okay, that sounds good. Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah.
So Nintendo lost huge, like they were neck and neck. They went from being like not even close in first place to literally neck and neck with Sega in the 90s because they were greedy with this exact thing they're doing right now. This exact same thing where they're like, you can't
history repeats itself, man.
Without us, you have to have us, and we're going to charge you for every single one of these things you make. So
history.
I don't think
so
Nintendo
funny,
Nintendo never learned from that mistake, because like if you look at like every system has always been a proprietary like media style. Like, so you had, the Nintendo 64,
too, right?
There's ego.
I feel like there's a bit of ego.
Nintendo has a lot of ego, and I think that's like
after the Switch sales, they're like, everyone wants to come to us, right?
Yeah.
We're the top dog in town.
Well, it was just the Wii and the Wii U that used non-proprietary format, right? Like they just used DVDs, right?
Reggie and Iwata were like,
they knew what was up.
They didn't have as much of an ego. Like they knew, like they came, especially Iwata, like he was a gamer first. Like he had a very passion for people who play, and like he looked at it from that perspective. And so like a lot of the things he pushed were more or less like better practices that Nintendo like was not known for up until then.
Make it a kinder company.
Exactly. And like his passing was probably like the saddest thing to happen to Nintendo and the gaming industry from that perspective. Because like they lost that, and that's why they've kind of gone back full circle to their like old misery ways.
Yeah, the miserly Nintendo is back.
The Scrooge ways, if you want to tie it into Christmas, the holidays. Spirit. Yeah. And they're humbugging all over the place. So
humbugging.
That sounds dirty.
Like humbuggery.
I mean, it's pretty dirty. It's dirty business.
Quit humbugging all over.
Yeah.
Nintendo. Knock it off. Yeah, it's sad. I've always loved, and I grew up with Nintendo. I had all the Nintendo consoles.
Me too.
I love
Nintendo. Their handhelds.
The only one I didn't have a Game Boy Color. I skipped that, but I had
my first one.
I love the Game Boy.
The original Color. Game Boy, and I think I'm trying to remember if we had a Game Boy Pocket. I may have skipped the Pocket too, but I mean, I don't think
I didn't have the Pocket.
So
Pocket was so short-lived.
Yeah, it was a brief stopgap between that and the Color. But yeah, I've been a big Nintendo boy for forever, and
me too.
It's literally Nintendo's decisions in this realm, like if you think about it, that led me to migrate over to Sony, right? Like
and
because in the N64 era, the PlayStation era, they were like, we're going to go with carts because again, we control the production and you have to come through us and you're going to like it. And Sony was like, how about you just put it on a CD and it'll cost you like 20 cents.
Exactly.
Developers were like, oh, it's cheap and it stores like 600 megabytes. That's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Let's do that. And they did.
Exactly.
So all the JRPGs shifted to Sony. The rest is kind of history. And Nintendo obviously has made a big comeback in terms of JRPG.
Yeah. Sony's fumbled with JRPGs.
Sony has fumbled. Sony fumbles every other generation.
And they do.
PlayStation 3 was a big fumble. They didn't recover until the very end. And PlayStation 5, I think, has been.
Yeah. Microsoft's not in this conversation.
Microsoft doesn't come up because Microsoft has bowed out.
They had a brief thing with 360 era, but that's about it.
Yeah, they did attempt.
They did a really good job.
I applaud that. I
acknowledge that. Good games.
They tried to do that, and they did produce some good games for that console, but they are not part of the conversation because they opted out. They opted out, and that's their call. That's fine.
Yeah.
They were looking for a different demographic,
Yeah, I mean, post 360, they just kind of lost their way. They wanted to become like all around media. Because like when they announced the Xbox One, it was just like, hey, this is a media box. You can have like your cable TV and all these other things, and people were just like, no, I don't care about that. Like, just give me games. And let me play.
My roommate in grad school bought into it.
Yeah.
She thought that was just the easiest thing to get.
Well,
We played Cuphead. That's about it.
I mean, you know,
that's a good game.
Millions of people did buy into it, but not nearly as many millions as bought into the competition. So,
yeah. But with like PlayStation Now, like I feel like from the hardware of PlayStation 5, that's your best bet in terms of like having games more or less on disc for the most part, especially if you look at the JRPG space. So like I think Sony from that perspective is doing a good job as long as they keep to that. Their strategy in terms of like publishing, it's just,
the publisher side too, they have to decide if they actually want to commit and not have, day one patches and all that.
That actually raises an interesting point, which is with this hardware crisis or whatever you want to call it, like getting priced out of PC gaming. Does streaming become the thing that big companies push as this is how you play games now? You can't honestly, you can't afford to build a machine, and we can't afford to sell you a machine at a consumer price that will play these games. You have to stream them now. Like that's
if you look at the PS Portal, right? You don't have to actually buy a PS5 to use the PS Portal anymore.
True. Yeah, you just
want to stream games.
That's true. Yeah, nowadays. But like, I think that's the trajectory of like the computing in general. Like I was looking into this the other day, and like there's already speculation in terms of like how they're dealing with like hardware from a PC perspective, that like, especially with how Microsoft is doing things, that slowly you're going to have to like, your OS is going to be on the cloud and your computing power will be on the cloud. So you're paying like, subscriptions for everything to have access to even like a normal PC. They're slowly like, I think that's like the trajectory that they're trying to push, which is
subscription that someone was, I think it was Logitech. They're trying to push for your mouse. Like you had to pay a subscription to use their mouse.
Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, I was watching a TikTok video of somebody like was talking about like cars even. And there's
so much tech in cars now.
Exactly. And there's like car makers out there that are putting horsepower on a subscription. So like if you want so they clock it. And so like if you want to have access to a little bit more horsepower, I think Mercedes does this. You actually have to pay them a bunch of money every month or year, whatever it is, to have access to that. And so like, and there's like just basic safety features and things that you think would be normal, that should just come standard for safety's reason, but like you have to pay a bunch of money for that. And I think which makes it sad is like I feel like everything is turning into subscriptions, and it is exhausting from that perspective. I hate.
And also tech, like a lot of tech is not built to last anymore. It's to be replaced.
Yeah,
just getting more expensive that way.
I would even go so far as to say like no tech is built to last. Like if you go go back 20, 25 years, like the machines that were built back then are still going.
Yeah. Well, because they're easily like repairable.
I thought you were going to say that it all fails. I'm like, no, there's some tech that still works.
No, it works great, right? It does. The stuff that broke, like you said, could be repaired. Because things break, that happens in life. But like
they made it easy to repair.
And now you have laws that are like, you have to let people fix stuff, guys. Like you can't. You can't prevent people from fixing things they bought from you.
And also like lithium battery issue, like of people, not knowing how to properly use it, or, just designed the device to make it so you could easily degrade it over time.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And here we go. Back at it.
Yeah.
Should we end today's episode with some highlights of like recent pickups and things, to close it off on a nice note?
On a happy note for today.
Yeah. Have you guys picked up anything recently or played any games you want to share?
The
demo dropped yesterday for Trails.
Yeah, that's true.
Daybreak.
Beyond the Horizon.
Yeah. I've only played about an hour of it, but
I'm like 2 hours in.
Yeah. So it's it's amazing.
I'm streaming that later today.
It's astonishing. But I remember thinking as I was playing the opening hour, like I would never recommend somebody jump in with this game. I know it looks like the start of a new arc, like it doesn't have a number after it. Looks like it could be the start of a new arc. It is not. Like, if you jump into
it's like Reverie. Don't do it.
You're like, what is everybody talking about? They are just talking about something that, like, I have no clue. It's like, I know because I've played the series.
Yeah.
Don't start with Beyond the Horizon. I hate to say that because, like, I want to be a champion for the series and get people to buy it. Go play first chapter. Go get first chapter. Or if you want to start in Daybreak, get Daybreak 1.
Get Daybreak 1.
Yeah, like, you'll be fine if you start with Daybreak 1. Beyond the Horizon is just, like, so much lore and so much, like,
Avengers Assemble
characters and, like,
and the problem is, like, with Beyond the Horizon, like, you also probably want to play the older games even beyond just Daybreak, because, like,
who's this ring guy?
Best boy Rena's back, and like,
and this Kevin guy, he looks pretty cool.
You got Kevin, and like, there's so many references. They're just like, and they're saying things that are just constantly like, if you didn't know anything, it just goes over your head, and you're like, I have no, like what is this?
I do want to say I like legitimately love this. Like, it might sound like I don't. I legitimately love this.
Oh no,
Kevin's accent, which he like slips in and out of, and they comment on how it's not always really thick. Like, when he gets heated, it comes out. I love the choice he made for his accent. I'm like, that's perfect. Like, that was really smart. I don't know what the equivalent is in Japan for that type of accent, but like, the English version, that was love it.
Yeah, it's like perfect for him. Like, it's so far, it's everything I wanted it to be. It is truly just a love letter to everything Trails. Like, right now, like, it's like everything culminated into all these different things, and so, like, it's really, like, perfect. And I'm excited to play more of it, and then especially when it drops on the 15th. I can't wait
coming so soon
to talk about it.
And then they haven't announced the next one, so who knows how long we'll have to wait for that. But
I don't think the wait will be terrible.
Hopefully not. I mean, I know they talked about releasing 2 games a year as a studio.
Yes.
I'm assuming
the 45th year. It's very big.
Yeah.
2027.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. They did hint at, like, there's going to be some big announcements, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
If they up their team size, they were talking about increasing a little bit to potentially do more than 2 games a year. So we'll see how that goes too.
Yeah. Another thing we played,
not enough time to play them all. They keep increasing it.
Another thing that was played recently, though, is Brandon and I did a stream. Where we played Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
We did. We did.
And it was a blast and terrible at the same time. That game
it was a lot of fun. Like, I haven't sat down and intentionally played a bad game in a long time. And doing it with a friend makes it fun.
Yeah.
It's not just like a slog, because it's just fun. Is there a VOD of that, Dala?
Yeah, it's on my channel.
So I checked it a little bit. I was curious how it went.
If you want to go see us suffer through this, frankly, embarrassingly bad game.
Yeah, and if you want to see Brandon experience eggnog for the first time in his life,
I tried eggnog. I was always like, sounds gross.
You're a converter.
You converted me. Yeah, I love it. It's great.
He's a nog-noggin.
I'm a
I'm sorry, I don't know what that is.
I like it.
I don't either.
I know.
I like it a lot. But yeah, I need more. I need more of it in my life. I'm kind of sad. It's just a Christmas drink. We should be drinking that all the time. It's warm.
I agree.
It's
stock up.
It's got. You put booze in it. It's even better. Like,
oh yeah,
love that.
Yeah, tastes great. Next time we gotta try rum in it.
Oh yeah,
that's very good. Spiced rum.
Spiced rum.
Yeah, goes well with it.
That sounds shockingly good.
It was a lot of fun. Check it out. It was hilarious and silly.
Yeah. So thanks to everybody who came out. I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not just from the podcast, but a lot of people that are supporters of the podcast came out and checked it out. We appreciate that. It was a lot of fun chatting with y'all as well.
It was, yes. And you guys enjoyed our pain a little bit. And
I'm glad that we
reveled in it
for you. Yes.
Exactly.
The suffering.
But yeah, other than, the beginning stages of Beyond the Horizon, I'm still making my way through Octopath Zero. Slowly but surely.
I'm enjoying it.
It's such a big game. Such a big game, guys.
Yeah, I'm still early in that. It is so. I was like, I remember I was messaging you guys yesterday because I got to like this dark moment in one of the chapters, and I was like, oh my god, like I didn't see that coming. Like
It's so dark.
it just like twisted into something, and it was like, oh my, this is like, and like the way this chapter ends, and like, oh man, like the delusional like situation of like the character from that
From
one,
that
and
story,
like, from that story, I was just like, that is crazy dark,
insane, right?
Like,
yeah,
like it. And I have to say, like, out of all the Octopath Travelers, this is the first time I've like really been like kind of wowed by how like a story is turned.
Yeah.
So I think this
they
is
went
like
that far. I was shocked.
There. Yeah.
Exactly. Like this is like shock value that I wasn't like prepared for. And so like I think this one really like they stepped it up in terms of like just intense storytelling that kind of really drives these emotions.
Fun. I like the combat.
Yeah,
I love the addition of the back row. Like it just makes things super fast, and
it just keeps moving.
You feel so powerful.
Nice rhythm.
It's a good rhythm, and like also, I assume I don't know if there aren't difficulty levels, are there?
No.
I don't think so.
It doesn't feel. It feels like enemies are less like damage spongy than they were in the previous games. Like I remember feeling like the standard combat, just like mob enemies would take so long in those games.
It won't take half an hour to beat a boss.
Yeah, it does not take.
I do like that.
I did get really over leveled. I can't remember if I was talking to you guys about this or not, but I just would like have it on my Steam Deck and just play it while I was watching TV, just grinding, just because I enjoyed the combat. It was like a fun thing to kind of do while I'm watching TV.
Also,
and I realized I was like, oh, I'm at level 70.
The boat's not going to pay for itself.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah. And I really like, I enjoyed because like in the beginning stages, you can kind of get items from people and they have like 3% chances. So I would just like save, what do you call?
Scum saving.
Scum scaving.
You didn't just wait to level up the area to increase your probabilities. That's what I did.
I mean, there's some that was like 3%, and I was like, I really want this weapon and this like armor. I'm like, I want this. So I like it. Luckily, it didn't take long for me to get it, but like I would just be like, I just do it for the fun of it. I'm on my Steam Deck.
I didn't talk to them until like after I beat the area. I was like, I should probably go get their stuff.
I really wanted to get this one item that I needed to build the Colosseum in Wishvale. And only one guy had it. It was like one specific item that one guy in one town has. And I had a 3% chance. And I tried for probably at least a half hour and kept failing. So then I went and did something to up my fame or whatever by just one level. And it changed it from 3 to 8. And significantly, like it only took me like maybe.
I don't trust those percentages.
I don't think that they're accurate.
In the prologue,
they're not.
I was trying to just inquire on this priest that had a 95% success rate. And then 2 times in a row, I failed. I was like, what? What is the probability of this? This is like...
it's not 95%. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's like 0.5% of chance of failing. And that was me.
Yeah, it doesn't feel quite accurate. I think more or less just gives you a general idea of like how likely it is to work. I'm not honestly like that's the one thing about the Octopath games that I'm like I don't understand why this is the way it is. Like,
but also they have percentages there. Like that's very easy to program.
It is. I guess my thinking about it is like I would almost prefer there were some other thing involved in getting and achieving these things through the path actions. Like, because if I fail, I can just do the exact same thing again and then I succeed, right? Like there's no consequences other than, oh, you fail 5 times, your reputation suffers. You go talk to the pub owner and you're good. It's like just add an extra like chore to do. So it's like that aspect of it I don't love, but overall I found the path actions were like better integrated into the mechanics of the game this time than in either of the previous games. So I appreciated that at least, a lot more than in the other ones.
No, I agree. I've been enjoying that game a lot.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Much like Visions of Mana, guys.
Oh yeah. You have a review of Visions of Mana.
You finally played it after
I know. It was There was a comment on my video going like, yeah, I picked it up because I remember you talking about it in the episodes of like, it was like deals. And I was like, yeah, it was that episode that forced me to go play it. Cause like Emily called me out and I said I didn't play it. And I felt shame. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pop it up to like the top of the thing. And I played it and it's a lot of fun, guys.
And it's good. I love that it's not a 1,000-hour game, right? How long did it take you to beat it? Do you know?
Like 30-ish hours,
35 hours maybe. Like, it's very digestible. It's a lot of fun. There's a surprising amount of depth to the combat with different job classes you can do. And
I really like the combat.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's like not button mashy at all because you're kind of like shifting through different things and like it just kind of flowed really well. And I loved using what's his name? The cat. I forget his name now for some reason, but he has like he has one of the modes modes that he has like 3 daggers and one of them is being held by his tail.
Yeah.
So it was like it kind of reminded me of like
Zorro.
You know, Zorro, exactly. I was like, he's like my little Zorro in this game. And so
the cat Zorro.
Yeah, he's so good.
So technically he could have 4. He could put one in his mouth too.
That's true. Yeah. He could.
He's kind of slacking.
But yeah, everybody should go play it. It's a great game.
Very good game.
If you like mana games, it is truly like feels nostalgic to mana.
It is. And I think even if you haven't played a mana game, it's like a great introduction to the concepts and the world of it. It's beautiful. The music is good. Like Hiroki Kikuta worked on it. There were a couple other composers as well, but he did work on it. I've been falling down a Secret of Mana music rabbit hole recently. I've been re-exploring that soundtrack. It's so good. I was thinking, there's rumors or like kind of lore around Secret of Mana is that it started out as what Chrono Trigger was going to be. Like Chrono Trigger was going to be like, that was what Secret of Mana ended up becoming. Yeah. And Chrono Trigger went its own separate way. And I started thinking like, what would Chrono Trigger be like with a Hiroki Kikuta soundtrack? And like just driving somewhere, I was just having this whole like brainstorm about like what that would be like. That's fun. It would be very cool. It would be very different, but it would be a very cool soundtrack with Kikuta.
The Mana series just has a lot of really good soundtracks. I mean, Legend of Mana, Shimomura.
Is that Shimomura?
Yeah, Shimomura. And it's a great soundtrack. Like for those who haven't listened to it, go listen to it. Do yourself a favor. It's beautiful. Along with the game, Legend of Mana is a very beautiful game.
It's gorgeous.
And
all watercolor.
Visions of Mana is kind of a sequel to Legend of Mana. It takes place in the same world-ish, kind of like as you're getting with Legend of Mana. So a lot of like references and things that are kind of like there. So if you've played Legend of Mana, you might kind of see some things that are similar. I mean, you have Little Cactus, and he has his journals, which he would write. He wrote in Legend of Mana. So you're finding his journals that he wrote in Legend of Mana everywhere. So that's the cute thing about it. It's got like a love letter to Legend of Mana, which I have a soft spot for that game. So it kind of hit me a little harder with that.
Ouch.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of good soundtracks, though, I've been playing Nier Automata for the first time.
Yes.
And I'm still pretty early, but it's pretty cool. It's a little bit hack and slashy with the combat, but I don't know.
There's hack and slash.
There's a lot of customization you could do.
I love Yoko Taro's, like, he's a mad genius. Like the stuff he programs it, like it turns into a shooter sometimes. It's like what?
The bullet hell or shmup. That's it.
The shmups, like the first, like in the beginning, there's like a shmup.
The whole thing, the whole intro, like gives you the very wrong idea. If you have no idea what this game is, you have a very wrong idea of what this game is going to be.
Exactly.
Shoot 'em up.
And the music is really good.
Oh yeah, right before the pandemic, actually, that was the last thing that Jen and I did. Was we went to the Nier concert. Here in the Chicago area. And we were just starting to see some people wearing masks. It was very new. It was still like January or maybe early February of that year. But yeah, that was such a good concert. Love that.
Oh yeah.
Dala and I are going to
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Square Enix.
Square Enix concert.
It's a full Square Enix concert.
Stuff, yeah.
And we got front row.
Front row seats, baby.
We're fancy boys.
How important front row is at an orchestra concert, but still.
Maybe not that important, but that's cool. No obscured view.
No obscured view.
I feel like
there.
We need to go have like a fancy dinner and wear our best suits.
Yeah, we're gonna.
You guys need to wear, like, do you have a tux?
I don't have a tux.
I don't have a tux.
We'll try to lose some weight and fit into one of my suits.
We've got some time, hopefully.
Yeah, got a little bit, got like a month or two. When is it? January?
Yeah.
February? I don't know.
Isn't it May?
Oh, is it that far out? Okay, yeah, we got time.
I think it's that far out. So I think we have
New Year's
plenty of time.
We may be meeting up with some folks from the broader JRPG community that are planning to be there.
Nice.
And if you happen to be going to it and see us,
say hi.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll be at the Chicago show.
So let us know. Looking to tear it up, have a good time.
Get weird. By get weird, I mean enjoy
classical
concert.
Music.
Yeah, classical music. It's
not too weird.
No, it's not too weird, but it's weird to people who don't like video games. So,
they should appreciate an orchestra.
They should have. Hopefully,
like that's the thing. Like Jen, I asked Jen, I was like, "Do you want to go to this concert?" And she's like, "Is it just like orchestral music?" Like, and I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, yeah."
Yeah.
So she likes that.
Yeah.
She doesn't play the games, but she, appreciates music. She went to New Year with me. So.
Music is music.
Music is music, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great. Yeah.
And I'm of the ilk that when I go to a video game concert like that, I dress up. I do I'm going to the orchestra. I see people like cosplay. No shade. That's fine. Do you? But I just feel like for an orchestra concert, we are elevated.
Fancy.
Putting on our best.
It's a fancy moment.
And we hold our pinkies out when we drink and that's
exactly.
That's what you do.
We pop bottles of champagne.
Yeah.
The cheaper stuff because we can't afford
can't afford it because we spend all the money on the nice clothes.
Exactly.
In the front row seats.
And the front row seats.
So, yeah. Anyway.
We're balling on a budget here, guys.
On a budget. I like that. You should start a blog. Balling on
balling. There's got to be a blog called that somewhere out there.
That'd be a blog.
Probably.
Anyways,
it's been a fun episode.
It's been a fun
it's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster of an episode. But I'm happy we ended on a very positive, happy note.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, we would like to wish you all happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Happy birthday if you're like Emily.
Happy
we also share my birthday. Happy birthday.
Yes.
Exactly.
Funny story. Chicken Fillets, John. We share the same birthday.
Oh, really?
He's also a Christmas
Oh,
Eve
really?
baby. So happy birthday to John there.
Happy belated birthday. I will have said it to you already, to my brother. His birthday is 2 days ago from when this aired.
Ooh.
So happy belated birthday, Aaron.
I know.
And
all the December babies.
All the December babies.
Yeah. Everybody being babies.
My fellow Capricorns who are on the latter half.
Parents getting freaky in March and ruining Christmas for an entire generation. Happy holidays.
Happy
on
holidays.
That note, happy holidays. Have a great, holiday with your families, friends, whatever you guys do. And we'll catch you.
Special shout out to our Pursuit members.
Yes, thank you.
Our support tier and our Pursuer tier.
We couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much. And we'll catch you New Year's Eve.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.